Hello, welcome to the final episode of A Productive Week in My Life. We are going to own these last few tasks on my Kanban board for the week, and we're going to do it together. So welcome to Friday and the weekend, baby. Let's go. Face is puffy today. I think it's partially the weather and allergies, and I don't know how much you guys can tell on camera, but having PCOS, it's like when you have inflammation pretty much consistently. And I'm not really doing myself a lot of favors by some of the things that I do with stress and eating. So we're gonna have a video coming up about that too, because off topic. But anyway, I only mention it because, when you are making your plans and you're thinking about everything that you're going to do, whether it's planning for an entire quarter or just planning for the week or even just planning for the day, we sometimes think of our maximum self. Like we may be aware in the back of our head, like, I don't feel good some days, or I have a headache some days, or some days I wake up with low energy. Whether or not you actually have a chronic illness, all humans wake up with variable energy, variable mental mindset, variable health things that might be going on. You could get the flu, like any of us are subject to that. And of course, those of us that do have chronic illnesses, from any scale of mild, which I would kind of call mine mild, to severe, we need to be aware of this, but nobody ever really teaches us how to be aware of our energy in planning. Planning so often just focuses on what needs to get done. Like if I want to increase my followers on YouTube to 85,000 subscribers, what do I need to do? Okay, I need this, and this video. And when you watch a video that tells you how to increase your subscribers or how to sell more books or how to write faster, it's almost always 99% of the time, unless you're watching a video from me or other people like me, it's just going to tell you the steps. And sometimes that is even me. We talk about the steps, we focus on the things that need to get done as if this is what you have to do. But where the disconnect comes in is when the things that you have to do are not actually sustainable for you because of your variable energy, because of your current mental health, because of various things that you're dealing with that the general public is potentially not dealing with. Some of us are more sensitive to the things going on in the world. Some of us are more sensitive to the things people write in comments. Some of us are sensitive to the numbers. So for example, if you had some posts on Instagram that were doing super well, or you had book sales that were coming in every day, 5 sales a day, and then suddenly war breaks out or something else goes on, it's like you can be stuck in this place where you're like, I am genuinely concerned about the world, but now I am also selling 0 books a day and I'm genuinely concerned about my own safety and well-being. That can be a piece of it that can suddenly make your time and energy shrink to almost nothing, because now you don't have the mental bandwidth and the focus to get excited. And let's be honest, when we talk about entrepreneurial endeavors, a big part of your success is going to be how excited you are to show up every day with good energy and to tell people about your books or tell people about the thing or to make the funny video or whatever it is that you're supposed to do. And I just feel like it is criminally under discussed, and it feels like, okay, we just have to keep doing it. And the really hard thing, I'm just going to be on a rant this morning. Welcome to the video. The really hard thing is that the people who are most consistent and able to show up in that way are people who have teams and resources that most of us do not have, in terms of other people creating that content for them, batching, and then having a team of 50 people like Hormozy, however many he has, mass creating that content for them. And I love that for them, great. But for most of us normal people, we're the ones showing up every day to create that new video, to create that new topic, to be working through it. And, there's a lot more I could say about that. But what I will say, to try to stay on topic as best I can, is I urge you, as you think about your plans for the future, whether you're used to making a yearly plan or a quarterly plan, a monthly plan, whatever interval you work in typically, to always build in buffer time. Because when life hits the fan, when things happen in the world, it's really the real message is know thyself. Know thyself. And we can always be working on being more resilient, being more setting boundaries between us and some of the other things. But it's a cold reality that each of us are going to be different in the number of ways that we're affected by what's going on in the world, how we feel in our bodies, the health things that we struggle with. Everybody is an individual. And the more you can know yourself and be really radically honest about yourself as you plan, the more successful you will be. And here's why. When you plan for, oh, I have 24 hours in a day and I'm going to sleep for 8 hours and I'm going to work for this many hours, and we just create a schedule on paper. It's the same thing as when you play Monopoly. You pick a little avatar, like the little car or the guy on the horse, or I don't even remember what, the dog, and then you're moving it across the planner with no real thought for the fact that you are not moving an avatar across your calendar. You are actually moving yourself, your body, your mind into that plan. So we plan as if we're a paper doll, as if we are a version of ourselves who has no feelings, no mental health issues, no Instagram post that made us upset, no reaction to the numbers. We're just, this is the amount of time we have on paper. So that's how much time we should fill in terms of our schedule. And when we do that, we plan a strategy based on X amount of time. Then when we actually reach our schedule, we maybe conservatively have actually 70% of that time. And for a lot of you, this is not true for me anymore, but only because I've been following this system. For a lot of you, you have 50% or less than the time you think you have. And I know this because I have now coached over 4,500 authors through this system, and 90% of them reach day 2 when we start talking about time in the HB90 bootcamp, and they feel like they finally have the veil lifted from their eyes and they say, oh my gosh, I do not have as much time as I thought I had. And that when you make a strategy that is based on, if I can get all these things done and I can spend all this time, I will have X result. But then you can only do 40%, 50% of those things on a good day. Then you actually might be focusing on things that don't move the needle. So what happens is you're busy all the time and you're never seeing the results. What's the point? But when you get really serious about, this is how much time I have. Instead of 50 hours a week, I have 20 hours a week. Instead of 20 hours a week, I have 5. And you get really, really radically honest about your time and your energy, not just your time, your energy, your mental health, the amount of creativity you have to pour into it, all of these things that people don't talk about when it comes to productivity. If you got really serious about that, then you could say, okay, if I only have 5 hours, this is the most important place to spend my time. Because if you're just looking at somebody's big list of all the things to do, and you're thinking you have to do all of it, and you put all of it on your plate, and you can't do even a third of it, chances are you've focused on the easiest, least productive third of that list. Whereas if you really focused in on the most important thing, it would change your life. And that's what we do in HB90. And that is why it's not just a class that I'm talking about. It is a lifeline. It is, what's the little ring, that you throw into the water, the life ring, like lifesaver? I don't know, what is that called? That's what it is. It is the thing that helps you actually match your time and energy. And listen, I'm telling you, whether you take my class or you use some other type of productivity tool, start planning with way more buffer time than you think you need. Start paying attention to how many days, like if you just made an ideal plan for the week like I did, how many days do you actually follow through with the things you thought you were going to do? And why not? Why are you not following through on most of it? Is it your energy? Is it the invisible things? Is it that you don't really have that much time? Is it that whenever you get to that task on your list, you feel so much resistance, you cannot force yourself to do it? Then you've got to get to the root of that. And this is productivity. This is creative entrepreneurship. And this is the hardest part of it. And it's the single part almost no one talks about. So 9 minutes in, we're talking about it here. It's the weekend though. We're gonna have a good day. I am gonna go through my plan for the weekend. We're gonna look at this board that we've been working on all week, and we're gonna see what else can get done. On the board, we have things that have been waiting for the weekend, like the socials or Instagram week 9. That stuff always moves at the end of the week. March newsletter plan. I need to get this done today. Coffee chat is happening today. It's not on here, so I might add a sticky note just so I know that it got done and I get to fill this up even more. But I'm doing a Broken Chapter Society live stream talking about abundance today after coffee chat. So that's another thing that I'm doing. I think I'm doing 7 hours of live streams this weekend. So, hopefully the energy will be there. Module 5 updates did not happen this week. I don't know if I'm going to get to it today, but otherwise it just gets moved to next week. And Module 5 has already happened. So just the thing with Publish and Thrive is it's just always being updated. So updates are a little bit later than I needed them to be. It's fine. Module 5 Q&A will be tomorrow. This will get moved down at the end of the week. Follow through focus, where we're talking about imposter syndrome, which is a big one, is Sunday afternoon. Wheel of Time, I am currently reading this and listening to it on audiobook, but it won't move until it's done. This is the Return to Magic, which is something from To Be Magnetic, which is a membership that I'm a part of. I have not started this. I would like to get this done today. And then the ever elusive Substack Post 1, which when we talk about resistance, I am resisting the heck out of. Don't ask me why, but we'll see. We'll see what that is. But otherwise, the board is looking pretty good, and the majority of this is going to get moved down. A Mirror of Shadows 60K, I'm going to go ahead and commit to this and probably the 60. Oh, I only have 70K. You know what? At this point, I might make a 65K. Just to give myself one little bridge here between the two, because I want to feel as much positive momentum as possible. So if I can add a 65K here, that gives me another stepping stone. Let's do it. And like I mentioned before in previous videos, which if you're here and you're like, wait, episode 1, I've been doing a series this week on my channel called A Productive Week in My Life using HB90 system. So this is episode 3. If you want to watch the rest of them, they will be in the description down below. But sometimes what I would do is I would actually put every 1,000 words. So for 70,000 words, I would have 70 different Post-it notes on here. But it just got to be where the board was so cluttered, I couldn't really get the clarity. And the whole point of the board is clarity. So I break this down in other ways, like having little progress jars or putting it on smaller Kanban boards or marking each 1,000 words in my planner. But sometimes on the board itself, I just need to get this a little bit more micro tasks. Otherwise, I really hoped to get my website revamp started this week. Like, the site is done. I just need to work on the copy. So maybe I can add this back in. We'll see. Kickoff isn't until next week. This will happen next week. I think everything else is just kind of waiting, because obviously I'm giving a keynote speech next month, but I want to practice it, but I'm just going to spend a lot of time. It's all the workshop and the keynote speech are done, but I want to try to memorize it as best I can. So I need to start working on that, but that's not happening just yet. So this Stello is the continuous glucose monitor that I wear, and I think I do actually need to change that out this weekend. So I feel like we're in pretty good shape. Let's go to the planner. These are the Erin Condren dual tip markers. I love these. They're so pretty. Highly recommend. Okay. Pre-order. This is another thing I've been resisting. This week, there were some issues with the Amazon Web Services and the bookstore was down. So I was like, well, I don't want to put a pre-order up when the bookstore is messed up. But I think it is fixed today. So it would be great to see if I can get this up before coffee chat today. It's already 11:15. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just put it off till next week, but like I need to get it done. This still isn't done. Newsletter plan I need to do. This manifesting live stream and the coffee chat are today. Pages mailed to winners. This is leftover from October, November. And I also have been resisting this because I told people that I would do some annotations on them, and I just have not sat down to do it. So maybe a weekend task for me. This is all done. Q&A will happen tomorrow. New videos, hopefully this week or early next week. I've been successfully recording this, but I can't mark it off yet. I need to make a YouTube short / Instagram post. Hardy Con venue is out of my hands. And then I need to do this loom. Y'all, I may get everything done except for these new videos. I don't know. We're still working it. We're still working it. This part of the planner is about time tracking. And sometimes I'm really good at tracking my time with it, and sometimes I don't go back until the end of the week to add it on. So we'll see how well I do at the end of this week, but I do try to track it with just a little slash every day. So see this little slash, that means I spent 1. I estimated 3 task blocks, I only spent 1, etc. However, if you do not like the idea of time tracking, you do not have to do this. There is another version of the planner that's called the notes version. So this is called task block version. And one task block is 30 minutes, which is basically like a Pomodoro method. And then we have the notes version, which is just a full page that you can write notes on for the week. So if you don't like the time tracking, I do make a version that is not time tracking, but I have gone back and forth. And when I wasn't using the time tracking, I missed it. So as we kind of look over the weekend, I did a walk today, which is great. I'm a little bit behind on my edits, but I've got coffee chat and other things going on. But this weekend, tomorrow, is Double Down Day, which will be some of the first times that some of our new hosts have gone live. Plus, it's a great opportunity to catch up on some of these edits. So I will be trying to participate in Double Down Day all day tomorrow, as well as taking a little bit of time to spend out, obviously with the kids. But the kids, let's face it, want to be on screens for at least an hour a day. So that gives me time to be working. And then when I'm hanging out with Evie, she can be playing and I can be writing, and we can still be hanging out together. Sunday, we will go to church in the morning, and then I will hopefully edit and post episode 1 of the Plan With Me, or that we've been creating this week. Will go up Sunday, but it might go up Monday. We'll see. And then I want to play Hello Kitty Island Adventures, but I didn't write on here the follow through fix live stream because when I was planning, I forgot that I have it. So I'm just going to put this here and put FTF imposter syndrome, or I'll just put imposter SYN, because I forgot that that was happening a week early. It usually happens the middle week of the month, but that'll be HB90 kickoff. So, this is the life of an entrepreneur, always trying to keep up with the things that you've got going on. So all I need to do now for my Friday is just go through with my washi tape, and then I have my 3 colors of pen that kind of match my 3 goals. And then I will mark the things that need to get done today. I have already been for a long walk today. I have already had some coffee. I have already scrolled Instagram and responded to comments, but that was kind of a waste of time other than responding to the comments. But I should not have spent so much time on my phone this morning, but forgiveness, and then we're moving on. So let's get this plan done and start getting it executed. Just for practical reasons, I want to talk about why the task blocks do make a big difference if you decide you want to use them. So when I go through the list for the day, it is already almost noon. I'm about to eat lunch. So I can look at the rest of the day as I begin my plan and say, how much time do I actually have to spend on my other things that I have to do? So a Mirror of Shadows, I want to work on the pre-orders, at least get the upload notes done so that I can start the pre-order tomorrow. And I would like to do some edits. That's probably going to happen late tonight. YouTube, I have for Sarra Cannon YouTube, Coffee Chat and the BCS Live. That's going to be 2.5 hours of stuff regardless. And then I already went through this morning and scheduled and posted about those live streams. Then I want to do some social media, answer some comments on social media, and I want to send a newsletter reminding people about Double Down Day tomorrow that will go out first thing tomorrow morning. So I need to get that scheduled. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I want to work on my newsletter plan. So as I look at these, I can say, about how long will this take? Some things I'm just estimating based on I've done some of this before, or this is how much time I want to spend. So for edits, I'd like to spend an hour and a half tonight. So that's 3 task blocks because each one is 30 minutes. So I've got 3 task blocks. I think I'll spend probably about 2 working on the pre-order. Coffee chat is set in stone. That's 1 hour. That's 2 task blocks. The BCS live is going to be at least another 2, but realistically 2.5 hours total, which is 5 task blocks. And then scheduling and posting, which I have already done, took me about 1. So I would mark that and then put a little 1 to the side. Then I want to make social media posts, answer comments, and work on the newsletter. Here I am just estimating 3 task blocks, which is an hour and a half for that. And then, I got to work on this newsletter plan. That's 2. But when I start looking at my calendar for the rest of the day and the fact that it's already almost noon, like I could maybe get 1 task block in before lunch, I can look at this and say, well, this isn't fully realistic because I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16 task blocks. That's 8 hours of work that I'm hoping to do between basically 1 and 10 p.m. tonight. But I also want to spend time with my family. So the reason the task blocks can be helpful is because I can look and I can say, there's no way, like aspirationally, yes, these are the things I want to get done and put on my list, but functionally, realistically, sustainably, I'm probably not going to get all this done. Now, one thing that I do sometimes is I will just go through with a highlighter and I will highlight the things that have to get done. So I'll kind of show you, if I can do it one-handed, what I would do with this. So for example, I don't have to set the pre-order up, but the edits are really important to me. So I really want to get that done. Coffee chat and BCS are scheduled, so that has to get done. Do I have to make an Instagram post? Do I have to go in and answer comments? No. So that is something that can wait. Newsletter, I'm not sending this today. It's just a plan, so that can wait too. But I do really want to get this newsletter done. So this is a way of me saying, okay, I am aware that I'm not going to get all this done, but these are my non-negotiables. And then we'll just do as much of the rest of it as we can. And that is one of the ways that I tend to stay flexible, but realistic as I'm planning. So now we just go for it. So I'm going to go and spend the next 30 minutes working on either the newsletter, probably the newsletter for Double Down Day. That seems the most important one. Whereas if I had not done this analysis, this is kind of what I'm talking about earlier, that you focus on the wrong things. If I hadn't done this analysis, I probably would be working on the newsletter plan for my Sarra Cannon, which can actually get done a different day. And then tonight I'd be working later than I wanted, or that email wouldn't go out. So now looking at my time and my task blocks has helped me. Whether you track it or not, it's just a good estimation tool. It's like estimating how big is my bucket or how big is my plate, and then am I fitting too much inside of it? So now I can focus on something that will actually move the needle, which is sending out an extra email for Double Down Day, which hopefully will get more people interested and over there and participating for the day. And it gives me another chance to send out a reminder that HB90 is starting next week. So it's like a win-win. It's important. It moves the needle in various ways. And it's more important than some of the other things on my list. So we're going to go get it done. And I will check back in with you guys probably after the BCS Live tonight. Hey, you guys, I told you I would check in later after coffee chat and stuff. It is 7:45. I have changed clothes throughout the day, but we had a really good coffee chat today. And then I ended up doing basically a 2-hour live stream after that. So I was live for 3 hours. I'm not even going to be able to record coherently tonight for you guys because I am tapped out. But I did want to walk through what I got done today and how long it ended up taking me. And then I probably will do some writing tonight as well. But I am also going to get a lot of rest. And I look forward to Saturday mornings. We tend to go to the farmer's market, which is always really nice, but also I get to sleep in on Saturday mornings. And it's not usually super late, but like 8 a.m. just feels so good. I remember the days in college I would sleep in meant like 1 p.m. I don't necessarily envy that, but there are days that I envy that version of myself. But today I'm looking forward to sleeping till 8. It's going to be just glorious. But let's take a look at the schedule. So in terms of this stuff, coffee chat gets to move down. You guys, it is so satisfying to have these tasks up here where you can see them and then move them down and be like, man, I did that. And not just I did it, but this is moving me towards my goals. New subscribers on Instagram or YouTube, new connections, nurturing my audience, having a place that I get to talk about my new release that's coming up. Like, that is part of my goals. And this is so much the power of a system like this, that you get to really spend time on the front end of it. Instead of just every day you're putting out fires and just throwing spaghetti at the wall, you get to take every single quarter, take a week and say, what is my goal? What do I want to do? I want to sell more books. I want to write more books. I want to increase my YouTube. I want to make more money. I want to create more courses. Whatever it is that is on your mind, in your dreams, you get to say, okay, here's what I want. What can I do to get there? And you know what? Some quarters you might be like, I don't know. I'm just getting started. I have no idea if a YouTube channel would help me. I have no idea if an Instagram would help. I don't know if this book is going to sell. I don't know how to market it. But the beauty of this is you're not going, okay, for the next 5 years, I'm going to try to market. You're saying for the next 90 days, here's what I'm going to try. I'm going to try posting every day on Instagram, and we're going to see. And you focus in on that one thing. So instead of being like, let me try this on Facebook, let me look into Kickstarter, let me, try to do Facebook ads, let me read a lot of posts on other people's Facebook ads, and you end up spending all of your time researching things, looking into things, trying to come up with a strategy, trying to figure out what in the world you need to do. And you don't ever get anything done, but man, you're busy all the time, but you don't actually have a lot to show for it, because maybe it was like 5 Instagram posts that went nowhere, a Facebook page that never got done, a group nobody's joined, a newsletter that never really had a entry point. And you're spending your whole career, years potentially, in that cycle of like, I'm always busy, I'm trying everything I can think of, but you don't actually have a through line where you're like, I tried Instagram for 90 days and I went all in on it and I gave it everything I had. And that's what this system can do for you, because when you really see, okay, I only have this much time, I can't do all these other things. What do I think? Whether you're trusting your intuition, whether you're hearing it from a course creator, you took Publish and Thrive and you learned this, whether you felt just really strongly this would be really fun, however you make the decision about it, it gives you a chance to say, well, what I want is to sell more books. And so I'm going to only have time to focus on this many things. So let's try a newsletter strategy and an Instagram strategy. And you can let everything else go. So you could have one goal that is, like if you're an author, that is for your writing, and one goal that is for your marketing. And instead of trying to do it all and never finishing anything, starting a million things that never get done, you get to say, I'm going to see this through 30 days of posts. And then at the end, you can say, okay, did that get me more sales or not? It did. Let's do it again. Let's build on what I learned. Or, ooh, that did not work. I posted 30 days. I tried everything I could. Let's try something different. But it focuses you in like a laser. There's a great quote from Michael Jordan that says, focus like a laser, not a flashlight. And so many of you are walking around focusing like a flashlight, where you're trying to spread the light all across the forest and you're trying to see everything all at once. Where the truth is, all you need is that pinpoint laser that says, this is where I'm going. And HB90 is an opportunity for that type of laser focus. And I am so passionate about it. It has transformed my life, not just in a single quarter, but the more I do it, the more I build on it, and the more I learn and the more I see. But there's a framework around it rather than just throwing spaghetti at the wall and praying something sticks. And I just cannot tell you enough how much this can change your life. So sorry, a little bit of a rant. I worked on the newsletter plan. I feel pretty good about how this is going. So we got that mostly done. Still working on 60K. Socials week 9 are basically done. I do have one more post to post tomorrow, so we'll leave that up. But feeling pretty good about the progress over here. Over here, again, this has to get done Sunday. This will happen maybe next week. So we didn't make a lot of progress on this that can be moved down the board. Same with over here. Now let's look at the planner. I'm sorry, it's a little bit dark in here. Stinking cute is this little cherry lamp. I got this at Home Goods. It's so cute. It's a very warm light. So on the planner, Mirror of Shadows pre-order work. So I did actually work on this. I started the upload notes template, but I didn't actually finish the pre-order. So we're going to count this though, that it was one task block because I finished the upload notes. Edits I'm still working toward. Coffee chat, Broken Chapter Society is done, but I did spend more like 4 task blocks. I scheduled and posted them. Instagram, YouTube, I did this as well. Yes, I was crying. I just was like having a moment. I thought I'm just going to record these thoughts because it's stuff that is on my mind a lot. So I got that done. That took like 1 task blocks. I ended up spending more time here in this socials and stuff than I thought because I had a lot of emails from people asking things about HB90 or can you help me with this? So I actually spent an hour and a half on that. And then a newsletter for Double Down Day is scheduled. So what we thought was going to be, I don't know, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 8 hours of work has so far been 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So if I spend 3 task blocks tonight working on the book, then I really will be at 17, which will be even more than I expected to work today, which I honestly thought, well, there's no way I'm going to get that done. But I ended up spending some of my family time on this, and I really worked all the way through lunch. So yeah, more productive than I thought for the day. And sometimes it's going to be that way. Sometimes you're going to make a big list and it's going to be none of it will get done, 1 or 2 things. And sometimes you just start knocking it out and it gets done. I don't know for sure that I will get to a lot of edits, but I'm going to do at least 1 task block. I'm going to commit to that. And then we just have 2 days left. So Saturday, I'll go ahead and plan that before tomorrow morning, probably. Sunday is mostly just going to be the follow through fix live stream. And that's probably all I'm going to do on Sunday. And then we have a weekly review, just asking things like, what are you most proud of this week? What challenge did you face? What will you do next week to make it great? Are you on target to hit your goals? What do you need to do to catch up? What deadlines do you have coming up? How was your mood this week? What can you continue to do to be happy and successful? These are just simple questions that I ask myself every week that keep me on target. Like, I have this deadline coming up. I better make sure I put it in my plan and things like that. But yeah, this has been a very good week. Something about the accountability. Not every week goes like this. I feel like I'm actually knocking out a lot of stuff. Not every week goes like this, but the walking has been helping and the accountability of keeping track with you guys has been helping as well. So we're owning it. Then I got to come over here too and mark things. So I got newsletter plan is done. Launch plan is done. I did the metadata part of the pre-order. Well, at least part of it. I did the manifesting live stream, the coffee chat, did not get this done. Then over here, anything done? I did a short today. Yeah, we're doing good. I might actually finish everything, which I want to show you guys a realistic week in the life, but maybe I'm going to do better this week than I thought. And, some weeks are like that and some are, some are a bigger struggle, but we're hanging in there together. All right, I will check in with you guys on Saturday. I am tired. Oh, I don't even have my watch on. It is, I don't know, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm just now updating you. I slept in this morning to 8, and then I had to take Evie to go get a birthday present for a party. And then we had a little bit of time together. It has been storming here. I don't know how well you can see it, but we had so much lightning and thunder during the Publish and Thrive Module 5 Q&A, but I'd have moved that down the list. And really, I don't know that I'm going to post anymore on my socials. So I could probably go ahead and move this too. So Instagram, I just posted a reel to Instagram and YouTube Shorts. So that finishes week 9. And then also done with socials I posted this morning in my Facebook group. So that is basically done. The only thing I have left in this particular goal for this week is a Mirror of Shadows getting to 60K, which I'm hoping to do tonight. Today is Double Down Day in the Heart Breathings writing community, and we have new hosts who are doing co-hosting with some of our existing hosts. So I've been trying to pop in as much as I can throughout the day, but I also just finished 2-hour live stream, which the Publish and Thrive live streams are so much fun. I love them. It's like rapid fire questions, really good, thoughtful questions and answers, but it also requires a lot of energy from me. And so afterward, I'm always like, I need to sleep. Not really, but like it's exhausting in the best way. But still, over here, the things that I didn't get done, Module 5 updates, that's just going to go to next week. So I'm not really worried about it. It might even move to a couple of weeks just because energetically I need a little bit of time. Website revamp did not get done, so that I'm not even going to worry about it. Follow through fix is tomorrow. So I do need to actually go in and write an email for tomorrow to remind everybody to schedule the live stream, get all the stuff ready to go for that. And then over here, I have not been doing any of this, but George, I'm going to have to ask George to change my glucose monitor right now because it actually just expired. So I need to get that done. And so overall, this is how most weeks tend to look, where by the time we get to Saturday, I just kind of look at the board. I also have it in a to-do list. You don't have to have both. You could just have things in a to-do list or a Trello board, or you could only have the Kanban boards, whatever way you want. The system is so flexible, but just having any kind of visual representation has been extremely valuable for me, because even if my planner is closed, I can walk in here and say, okay, well, what still needs to get done? This is also a time when I can just kind of look ahead to all the things that are on the list and say, is there anything else I feel like getting done today? Do I have a little bit more time? And today, that's a no. There's nothing else I really want to do or feel like doing. But I will bring you along with me tomorrow, which is Sunday, where I will show you again how I wrap up the week and then start planning for the following week. And you know, every week is not going to be perfect. There are some weeks that I don't even look at the board because I'm just like head down. I've got to get this one project done and I'm not worried about anything else. There are times when the things that I planned end up taking a back seat and I do something else that needs to get done. So it's not about perfection. It's not about following through on every single thing. That's not really the point of it. The point is just to give yourself some guardrails around, here's where my focus is supposed to be. Because as we all know, there's no end to the number of tasks that we could be focusing on. And when it's just anything, sometimes we're just too overwhelmed to even know where to start. But at least with this, I always have a starting point. I always have these here that I can say, okay, deep breaths. What can I work on? What has a deadline? What sounds fun to me right now? And you can be flexible within that system, but it like at least gives you a place to start and a place to focus. So like I said, it's about 4 today. Even though I didn't record it, I prepped the work stuff I did is I prepped for the Module 5 Q&A. And then I performed the Module 2 Q&A, which was 2-hour live stream. And then I sat in and I did a couple of Instagram stories. I made a YouTube short Instagram reel that I posted. And really the only 2 other things that I wanted to do today are getting that email sent out to the follow through fix, as well as showing up for some of the double down day writing sprints and encouraging the new hosts and everybody, and hopefully getting a little bit more done on my edits. And then from there, rest, relaxation, enjoying the family for the evening. I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning, and Saturdays tend to be more of a cleaning day for me as well. I do most of my cleaning Saturdays and Sundays, but I also have a spouse who does a lot of the cleaning. So I know I'm really lucky when it comes to that. But I'm going to do some, like George did my laundry earlier, so I have to actually get it out of the dryer and fold it and put it away. So I'm going to be doing that. I know sometimes people ask like, where do you fit in all those extra tasks? I don't typically write them in my planner just because I don't always need that. I want my planner to be focused on the work stuff that I have to do, but you absolutely could. Like one thing you could do is you could have 2 main goals, and then this third one could be like the laundry, the cleaning, the habits and things that you want to do. Or you could have 3 goals, and then you could have a 4th board that has your habits, or you could just have your Kanban board be your goals, like your career stuff. And then inside the planner where, like, for example, there's all this space in this planner. If you're using an Erin Condren planner or a Happy planner or your own custom thing or passion planner, whatever you might be using, there's space probably on the page where you could use this, or a notes page. So for example, only thing I wrote down was this so far today. I didn't even make a to-do list. I probably go in and write it and then track my time, but there's almost always this space at the bottom unless I have had time. This was a particularly busy week, so I didn't really do like a lot of journaling. As an example, you can see there are some weeks that I do journaling or intentions, or I mark like, oh, I got a new camera, I got my nails done, and I'll sometimes write or journal. And then there are other days where there's literally nothing written on the page. And I try not to stress about how that ends up looking at the end. It's just, for me, this particular planner is less about the aesthetic or every space getting used, and more about, this is a tool to help me get my work done. And if I don't need that tool today, it doesn't matter that there's an empty page. But if I need the tool and I need the list, it's there for me. But you could put your meal plan in here. You could put your cleaning chores in here, or other daily habits. A lot of people use this smaller box for their daily habits. You could do it really any way you want to, but hopefully this has been an eye-opening or inspirational in some way look at how I use the HB90 Planner. Another thing that I do want to get done today also is grocery shopping. I almost never go into the actual store anymore. Thank you, COVID, I guess, for the gift of pickup that has continued. It's like one of the gifts of COVID that we actually like. So I will just go into the HEB app and order my groceries from there, and then we'll pick them up after church tomorrow. And that's kind of our family routine. And then I'll put everything away. However, as you guys will see in an update coming up on my channel, I'm making some pretty radical changes to my health and other things like that. And I have gone back and forth on exactly where or how I want to share it. I was thinking about starting a Substack. I know some of you followed me over there. I'm still planning to start the Substack, but I just have been, I don't know, it's not fully worked out in my head, but I'm going to be sharing some of the things that I'm doing to get myself back to a place of true health and excitement and joy and creation. And I'm probably going to share it here on YouTube, but I will keep you updated on what that looks like. But I definitely am going to start today. So that is also another focus of mine. So yeah, that's kind of how I plan my week. I don't know even that I will update much more today, other than I got to go get that email out and then my work is done, other than showing up for the live streams, which will just be kind of fun. It won't feel like work. But I will check in on you tomorrow afternoon on Sunday, because I am working on Sunday, which is not always the case for weekends, but that'll wrap up our week. So I will see you probably tomorrow. Oh my gosh, it is Sunday. I just am coming off almost 2-hour live stream with the follow through fix. That was so powerful and amazing. I was crying. I think other people were crying. It's just such an amazing job that I get to have, and I love it. We were talking about imposter syndrome, and I think this is something that holds a lot of us back, and I think it just went really well, and I love this group of people. Oh, it's really great. Anyway, beside the point, I'm coming off of a high from that, but you can see I moved down follow through fix March focus. So that is another thing down. And you know, every single time I move a sticky note down, I know that I'm moving toward my ideal life. I am moving toward my goals. I am finishing things that I promised I was going to say, which builds self-trust. It lets me know, like, you are trustworthy. You may not do every single thing on the timeline that you said you would, but you get things done consistently and you're doing a great job. It's like a little pep talk every time I see these little sticky notes, which is why I highly recommend, if you're struggling with following through or you're struggling with clarity, to actually put your to-do list on your wall where you can see it every day. So follow through fix is done. I also hit 60K last night in my book, and I worked a little bit too late, forgetting that we had daylight savings time today, so I did not get enough rest. So I'm definitely going to rest after this before I plan for next week. The other thing, if you happen to notice it, is all week I have had socials for week 9 up here. I don't know how I missed moving that down last week, but this week was actually week 10. There are 13 weeks in the quarter, and for some reason I just didn't move it down, and I thought this week was week 9. So I did finish my social media for week 10, so that is all done. The things that didn't get done that were on a timeline were a few videos that I wanted to update, just new videos I wanted to add to Publish and Thrive, so those will get done later. And then working on my website revamp. The design is done. I just need to work on the copy. And then I didn't do any of these things that are, this one is kind of like an admin, courses I'm taking, weight loss, those kind of things. So they're not always really on a timeline. It's these two that are set to deadlines. So basically, this is everything that still needs to get done here in March, and I'm maybe not going to get it done. I don't think I've ever gotten everything done on my list, but I'm always moving forward. And, this is another reason that having a plan like this can be helpful, is because so often we're biased to think that, oh, I didn't get anything done. I was busy, but I didn't actually finish anything. But the truth is, there are things getting done. And because it happened 3 weeks ago, we feel like it doesn't count because all we see are the things that we didn't get done. So this gives you a chance to really give yourself more credit for the things that are getting done. Okay, so let's talk about what happens next. The week is over. My tasks for the week that I'm going to get done are completed. It's not every single thing, 90% of what I thought I was going to do. What I will do now in terms of the planner is I will go through and I will do my weekly review, which are those questions that I answered at the very beginning of the week and the end of every week. Then I will go back through this list. Let me turn the camera around. I'll go back through this list and we can just do it together right now. So I made it to 80K. So we're going to kind of partially mark that off. I did not get this pre-order done. Sometimes what I will do is I'll take another color of highlighter and I'll just highlight the things that didn't get done that get moved to next week. I did my newsletter plan, but I didn't actually write the first email. Manifesting live stream, coffee chat. I did not mail these pages to the winners, and everything here got done. Everything here got done. Module 5 Q&A got done yesterday. I did not do these new videos, so I can also highlight that for next week. I have recorded this week in my life successfully. I did do shorts every day, and the HardyCon venue, we have a scheduled place to go to. It's not booked, but at least I'm scheduled in to go message them. I also did not get this book funnel loom done, so I will do that next week. But otherwise, a very successful week. And I think, really part of productivity is not being perfect, but just making progress in a sustainable way. If I had pushed myself a little harder, could I have gotten more done? Yes. Would I be exhausted? Also, yes. The key to productivity is just getting things done in a way that you're being consistent, that you're moving forward, that you're focusing on things that all have synergy. They're all moving in the same direction. Every task is leading you in the same direction towards success, not just like this over here has nothing to do with this and this has nothing to do with this. It's like every task is moving me forward towards my goals, but it's okay if it doesn't get done on a specific timeline. These will go to next week and we'll get as much done then too. Another thing that I'll do is go back through my week and see how much time I spent. Part of why this becomes important is, so I don't know where I am on this, but I think I'm at about 25 task blocks out of 40. So here I can know, why didn't I get these 10,000 more words done? Because I just didn't spend the time on it. So now I realize there's a disconnect in my plan. And this is true every week, that I thought I had more time to work on this than I did. I thought I had more energy to work on this than I did. So I overestimated what I'm capable of. So next week, I'll put less on my plate. Naturally, I will because I'm almost at the end of the book. But I won't expect myself to edit 30,000 words in a week next time, I'll say 20,000 sounds a little bit more reasonable. And every time I go through a week with this awareness of, oh, I didn't actually match my expectation with my available energy and time, then I can more properly estimate for next time. So BCS and socials actually did spend a little bit more time on this, but I think I'm way under 10. I don't think I spent anywhere near 10 on this. Now I did a 2-hour live stream though. So I think if we did that, it'd be 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think I spent 8 on this. So I was a little shy of how much time I thought I would spend. Admin work also didn't come quite to the top. HB90 didn't quite come. Publish and Thrive, I haven't added in yesterday's tasks. So YouTube, though, took me a lot more time than I gave myself for the week. So that's really where my writing time went. So that's another way that I can see, where am I imbalanced? That I said writing was my priority, but I actually spent more time on YouTube and courses than I did on my writing. So then next week I can make a decision. Is writing really my priority? If so, some things have to change. And it's a constant ebb and flow. And like I said, you don't have to use this time tracker piece. You can just let it go, or you can use it to plan, but not actually use it to execute. But either way, these are just tools that can help you get better at not getting more done necessarily, although it does help me get a lot more done, but also in understanding where your time is really going and where your available energy wants to be spent and where you're feeling resistance. There's so many benefits to this type of plan. So what I will do next after I take a break, because I just need a little bit of time off, is I will go through and fill out this review about what deadlines do I have coming up next? How was my mood this week? What did I notice about this week? What am I proud of? And then I will move on to week 11 and I will start the whole process all over again. The way that I know what tasks need to go on to this first list is multiple things. So first I have the list from last week of things that didn't get done. So I'll move those over if they're still part of my priorities. I also have a list of things from the month that I know I still want to work on. So I probably will also, now that we're a couple of weeks, like we're through the first week of the month, I'll probably go through and say what got done here and what didn't get done. And then of course, I have the boards. So this is another piece of what I'll do first before I start planning. I'll say, okay, we definitely have a coffee chat coming up, another Friday the 13th coming up next week. I do want to brainstorm a bonus to get people onto my newsletter list. I'll need to do my social media for next week. And I uploaded book 4, but I haven't published it yet. So we'll try to get that done. I also am going to try to finish this book. So I'm going to put Mirror of Shadows 70K and complete my edits. That is hopefully going to get done. I also have some things that I need to do in terms of paperbacks and stuff like that, but I'm going to wait until the book is done to add that to my list. But if I get all of that done, we're going to be ready to really start in earnest a Throne of Thorns for the Rough Draft Challenge, which will be super awesome for next month. Over here on my heart breathings goal, video 9, 10, and 11 will be this series that I've been recording, and it's going to be in 3 parts. My nails are so thick, these don't always want to come off. So all 3 of these will come down the board to be posted next week. I also will have the Module 6 Q&A, Instagram posts for next week, and I will have the HB90 kickoff call next Sunday. Please come join us for this class. If any of this has been resonating with you, I really hope that you'll come join us because it's such a life-changing class. Accelerate, since I'm off a week also, 10 should already be down. So this will be week 11. So it's a pretty big week for heart breathing stuff with the new class. Then I'll look up here and say, is there anything besides this that I want to add down? I am working on my closet organization this week coming up, so I will move that down. But other than that, I think I'm just going to leave everything as is. Oh, no, I definitely want to go to Jazzercise at least once, so we'll move that down as well. And so that's kind of where I start. So I start here. I use the planner for anything that I had on my list that didn't get done this week. And then I also do have my quarterly plan written in my main HB90 planner. So this planner, you could keep the whole plan in here, but I have a lot of other random stuff in here. So I keep the daily, weekly pages in here. Then my actual pages for the plan are in this one. So every quarter I pull this out. I probably don't need to do that for this week though, because I have enough stuff on the board to occupy my time. So then when I start planning for the day, I'm just going to go to that dashboard, start writing out all of these things and sort of breaking them down into smaller tasks of everything that needs to get done. I'm going to compare that estimate with my actual time and energy coming up. Kids are going to get out of school early on Friday for spring break, and then we're starting spring break. HB90 starting, Publish and Thrive is ending. So I'm going to take all of that into account in terms of how much time I actually have available this week. And then we make it look pretty. We put it in the planner and we start the whole week again. So that is a successful, productive week in my life. I am not perfect. I don't get everything done, but compared to a time in my life when I first started putting my tasks on the board, when I literally could hardly get out of bed, when I would sit on the couch all day and just feel like I could not force myself to get work done. I felt overwhelmed all the time. I felt behind all the time. This is what I started doing, and it has saved my life, and it has gotten better and better every single quarter for my whole life, and it is a lifeline. I am getting ready, you guys will see coming up here on YouTube, to make some changes, pretty big changes in my life internally, and some of that is going to affect YouTube, and that's going to play a major role in basically how I run my whole life, how I see myself, what my tasks look like, what my goals are for Q2. And if I didn't have a system like this to rely on to help me make those changes and to develop that strategy and make sure that it fits within my available time and I'm not just daydreaming about what I'm capable of, I know I wouldn't be able to do it to the extent that I will be able to do it. And that gives me so much clarity, so much confidence that no matter what else is happening in the world, I know that I have some sense of control over myself and my time. And I know that as long as I come in here and I pick anything, I may not have any energy and I might just be like, I don't feel like doing anything, but at least I can post on social media once today that I'm moving myself forward. And that is priceless. It's truly priceless. So I hope seeing it in real time was super helpful for you. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'm not sure when this video will post. Hopefully it will post before HB90 starts, but we are starting HB90 on March 15th, or if you're watching this sometimes after the course closed, we do HB90 every single quarter, and there's a planner up on Etsy that you guys can grab to go through this process and to use the planning system if you'd like to try. But if you have any questions or I can support you in any way, please let me know. And if you're an alumni, go ahead and post down below how much this course has meant to you so that you can help let other people know just how powerful it really is. And I super love you guys. I will see you coming up soon. One thing I realized just now as I'm talking that I did not put on here is I gotta make the Rough Draft Challenge planner for April. So that's going on my list for tomorrow. So when that happens, I will just go into my Post-it notes. I don't think I have a pink one left. And I will add it to the board, and then I'll get it done. But that has to get done. So that'll be coming soon for those of you on my newsletter list. And we've got a Rough Draft Challenge coming up in April. So I hope this was helpful for you. I super love you, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.